Hi students, today we are going to discuss Gauss law in electrostatics. Gauss law relates two physical quantities. One is the total electric flux passing through a closed surface, which is represented by the symbol phi E. The other quantity is the net charge or the total charge enclosed by the surface, denoted by the symbol capital Q. So there is a relationship between the net charge and the total flux passing through a closed surface. This relationship only is called as Gauss law. Mathematically, we can write Gauss law like this. Phi E is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times capital Q. Okay students? Where epsilon naught is the permittivity of a free space. So, the statement of Gauss law goes like this. The total flux of the electric field over a closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge enclosed by the surface. We are going to prove Gauss law from the definition of electric flux. For that, let us consider a point charge which is positive charge whose magnitude is Q coulomb. It is placed in free space or air. So, now you imagine a spherical surface which is a closed surface surrounding the given charge, keeping the given charge at the center of the sphere. So, what I told you, imagine a closed spherical surface such that the given charge Q is at the center of the sphere. Since the given charge is a positively charged particle, its electric field lines, namely the flux lines, are directed outwards. So I am going to draw one or two lines like this. You can see that this is the electric field line, and these are all the electric field lines which are directed outwards because the given charge is a positive charge. So now this is the direction of electric field. So this is the direction of electric field at every point. Can you see that at every point the direction of electric field is perpendicular to the surface area of the sphere? At every point the direction of the electric field will be perpendicular to the surface area of the sphere. Now let us consider the radius of the sphere is small r. So this type of spherical imaginary surface drawn around the given charge is now called as the Gaussian surface. So what is the shape of the Gaussian surface which I have considered for the given charge? It is spherical. So you have to imagine as if the charge is placed at the center and the electric flux lines are directed outwards, and these flux lines are penetrating perpendicular to the surface area of the sphere. I will give you a better example, my dear students. You imagine an LED bulb is placed inside a glass sphere. Will the light be visible outside from all the directions or not? Yes, it will be visible. This is because the light rays emitted by the LED bulb will be traveling outward in all the directions, penetrating through the glass walls of the sphere. Like that, you have to imagine the electric flux lines or the electric field lines are directed outwards at all points on the spherical shell. So, this is the situation. Now, what is the expression for electric flux I am going to write? So, electric flux is given by phi E. Okay, electric flux phi E is equal to closed integral of E vector dot product dA vector. Electric field vector dot product with the area vector. So this is now equal to the magnitude of electric field vector is E into the magnitude of area vector is dA into cosine of the angle between the two vectors. Now, in this picture, at every point, any point I am going to choose, only one point at a time, I am going to choose this point. So this is the direction of the electric field which is radiated outwards, radially outward it is. And here a small area, if I will assume, say for example the area is small area is dA. So the area is pointed outwards. So the direction of the area vector dA is along the same direction of the electric field. Now you must accept that this small area dA is associated with the electric field vector. Therefore area is also getting the status of a vector. So if area is a vector, means it has a direction. So who will give the direction of the area vector? It is the normal drawn to the area. Okay. So I have considered the area dA on the surface of the sphere. dA is a small portion on the entire sphere. So that small area is having a magnitude dA, and if you draw a normal perpendicular to this area, then that is also directed along the electric field. So area vector dA and electric field vector E both are along the same direction. So what must be the angle between E vector and the dA vector at this point? Theta is equal to 0. Theta is equal to 0. Okay, students? So now I am going to substitute here. Cos theta is equal to cos 0 is equal to 1. Cos 0 is 1. So theta is equal to 0 means then cos theta is equal to cos 0 is equal to 1. So this will become what? E into dA. E into dA for this picture. Okay. Now I am going to recall the electric field due to the given charge Q. You see here the radius of the sphere is r. So at a distance r, that is at any point on the surface of the sphere, what will be the magnitude of the electric field due to the given charge? So the given charge is Q, means its electric field is denoted by E is equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q by R square. This is the expression. This is the expression for the electric field at any point on this sphere, which is at a distance r from the center, that is r from the charge Q. So E is the magnitude. E is the magnitude of the electric field at any point on the sphere. Okay. Therefore, I am going to substitute in this equation phi E is equal to E into dA. So this is the first equation. Okay, students, this is the first equation. Now this is the second equation. Electric field, magnitude of the electric field due to the given charge at any point on the surface of the sphere. Okay, students. Now from Gauss law, phi E is equal to closed integral of E into dA. So this is equal to phi into that is closed integral E into dA into cos 0. Okay, cos 0. So now you will see that the magnitude of the electric field E will be the same at all points, because it is inversely proportional to r square, since r is the distance of all the points on the sphere from the center. All points on the sphere are equidistant from the center. Therefore, here E is a constant. I will take out of the integral. So, this is equal to E into E closed integral of dA. So, what is dA alone? dA is a small portion of area, okay, a part of the sphere. Okay, if you add like this, there are so many areas like this dA. So many small areas dA will be there on the entire sphere. If you add all the small, that is infinitesimally small areas, you will get the total area of the entire sphere. So, integral of this dA must be equal to the total surface area of the sphere whose radius is small r. Understood? So, I am going to substitute the integral of dA is equal to the total surface area of the entire sphere, that is 4 pi r square, and I am going to substitute E, the electric field, which is constant at all points on the sphere. So I am going to substitute equation 2 for this E. So this is now equal to 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into q by r square into integral of dA is equal to the total surface area of the sphere, that is 4 pi r square. So I am going to substitute this is equal to 4 pi into r square. Have you understood? Now which are the terms getting cancelled? So this 4 pi is getting cancelled. This r square and r square also is getting cancelled. So the remaining term is equal to q by epsilon naught. Therefore, flux phi E is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times q. So this is the equation which we have derived now. Have you understood? So what is on the left hand side is phi E. That is the total flux passing through the closed surface. And q is the total charge or the net charge enclosed inside the surface, which is called the Gaussian surface. So what is Gauss law in electrostatics? It states that the total flux of the electric field passing through a closed surface is equal to 1 by epsilon naught times the net charge which is enclosed within the given closed surface. Okay, students? Okay, fine. Thank you.